calls the 2-year relationship with Grace Jabari toxic, dangerous, and unhealthy, but he is adamant. He says there was absolutely no physical abuse.
A lot has happened in my personal life, in my career, in the culture. It's about responsibility and coming forward and being brave and giving my part of the story.
And so I almost feel like now, since he's been out in the spotlight, maybe he had a chance to step his game up with a more better looking, desirable woman. Maybe he wasn't able to get the black woman that he wanted, and so he settled for the white woman because maybe black woman wasn't checking for him, because he is a little weird. He's weird. Do you know why this happened?
Why? What happened?
Why this whole thing transpired?
The interview?
No, like the whole scuffle. The scuffle in the car. He had cheated on her.
He cheated on her.
Yeah, he cheated on her. And so he cheated on her, and evidently the person that, well, it seems like the person that he cheated on her with evidently texted him while he was in the car.
Okay. I didn't know that, but I knew it was something to do with the phone, because then didn't she grab it or something? And
yeah, I mean, that's what alleged.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's no camera or whatever, so it's he said, she said with that. But the ultimate thing is that this whole ball of wax that started because of something that he did, unfortunately. And so, well, I won't even say unfortunately, but something that he did. So being that he started it, you can't always, script or dictate how it's going to be finished. But I don't know. So far in the interview, what do you think?
it's sad. It is sad still to me. Even if he did do something or didn't do something, he's getting blamed for it. Either way, I mean, he did say that his relationship was, I don't know the words he used, toxic or something else, but he said it wasn't abusive. But the 3 words he used, physical, emotional, verbal, it had to be abusive. If it was those 3 words he described, it might not have been physical.
Yeah, well, maybe. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just me with the interview, I know a lot of people said that they think it was a good look. I really didn't like it, and so we'll watch it. But I really didn't like it. I think the answers I liked. I didn't like his body language and how he delivered the answers. For me, just in watching the interview, because I watched the whole interview, he's different. He's when I say different, all right. So you have like your cookie cutter black guy, and so but then you have different variants, just like in the Marvel movies. He's just a different type of black guy. But the thing is that I do kind of feel that with him being different is why he is attractive in movies sometimes as far as acting, because it's not this stereotypical black guy that you're seeing in the movies. It's something that's different. From watching him give this interview, his acting doesn't seem much different from just what he may be as a person.
Then asked about his reaction to the verdict, in which he said he was absolutely shocked.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shock. I was absolutely shocked. And I'm standing there, and the verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible?
Good Morning America then goes over the events that really took place the night before he was arrested, stating that he got a text from another woman that said, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you," in which his girlfriend at the time, Grace Jabari, grabbed his phone, where she claimed he physically tried to get it back from her, fracturing her finger and hurting her behind the right ear. The interviewer says she says that you did all of these things to her to physically abuse her, and Jonathan Major straight up says that never happened.
She says inside the car, you hit her in the face, twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah, that did not happen.
How did those injuries come about?
I wish to God I knew.
If you have no idea how it happened, it makes you look guilty.
I mean, not necessarily.
Get in a scuffle.
Yeah. I don't say I don't particularly like the answer. I don't think it makes him look guilty. But what I do feel like is that he does know how it actually happened, but he doesn't want to say how he thinks it happens. I think it would make him look more guilty if he said, I mean, within the scuffle, like if he was trying to get his phone back within the car, and when she was pulling and he pushed her off, like how it possibly happened. Like you probably pushed her to get her away from you in the car. But that would look like you were being physical with her if you said that. And so, like I said, I don't particularly like the answer, but I don't think people would have liked the answer that probably is the real answer on why he thinks that she's got it. And so, like I said, I mean, I do think in some of this he had to duck and dodge, you know, and not answer stuff.
So maybe
completely.
it wasn't the right time.
Right time for what?
Interview.
No, I do think it probably was the right time because he hadn't spoken. The difference is that I put it like this: is like, you remember when the Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez thing was going on, and then Tory was out in the media, you know, trying to put stuff out, you know, before the case, you know, and it got really messy on his side. Then when you actually had the trial and all this other stuff come out, people, you know, instantly turn. And so I do think, kind of to a degree, with him not saying anything, it may have helped him a little bit. I think a lot of people do want to hear what they got to say, but also with the evidence that was presented in the trial, I think a lot of people were like, well, yeah, you probably were in a bad relationship. Both of you were in a bad relationship, but should this have been taken to this degree just because you were in a bad relationship? Like, we probably shouldn't have took it to where you got charged for different things, you know what I'm saying? And then your career, you know, basically sidelined. And so I think that people do want to hear what he has to say because they want to see if it's worth to try to give him a second chance. But I just don't really like his answers.
But he's also going to appeal it, right?
Yeah, they're going to appeal it. Yeah, they're going to appeal it.
Maybe he should have waited till it was completely over.
No, I mean, like I said, I think I'm mixed about it. Like I said, I'm mixed about it just because I just didn't like his body language and his answers, you know. But I do know that a lot of people will like his body language and his answers. But it's just for me, just in dealing with a lot of people all day, every day, for years, is that there's just some things that just pique my spidey senses. That's all I can say.
How were you injured?
My injuries were, I had a scratch on my hand, you know, from clawing for the phone. And I had a gash on my, at the time I had a beard. Under my beard, I had essentially a fingernail scratch on my, I guess my cheek from pressure.
So basically what they're trying to say is that he had injuries too, and I understand that. But in that, with saying that he had injuries, he actually also knows how she probably got the injuries to her because they were going back and forth with this scuffle. And so, like I said, I do understand why he wouldn't answer the question to begin with because, you know, well, if I knew, I would, you know, whatever he said, rest easy. Like, you know how, but...
It just wasn't a good look for him. Almost like saying, like, well, I had nothing to do with it, but I don't know how it happened.
But at face value, I would say for most people, they wouldn't be thinking that you know, that deeply or that into it. For face value, I think most people who want to, you know, give him a chance will look past that. They will look at the first answer and then just kind of look at the second. It's like, well, he had injuries. You know, why didn't she get charged with something since he had injuries also? So, like I said, I do understand to a degree. It's just with me, it's like, you know, I don't know.
I wonder too. I mean, he's the one who called the cops. I wonder if he didn't call the cops, did she have plans of calling the cops?
That is a good question. Like, if he would have never called the cops, would we actually be sitting here talking about this right now anyway? And so, I don't know. It's a good question. So, he was the one that cheated. He was the one that, you know, unfortunately, he did have to scuffle with her to get his phone back or keep her off his phone, which is where she got the scratches. And then he ended it by calling the cops, which ended up getting him arrested, which ended up getting him. And so this whole thing is actually self-inflicted. This whole situation is self-inflicted by him.
She might have said, I'm calling the cops, and maybe he tried to beat her to it. But if he was just trying to...
I think she was passed out.
Yeah, so, yeah, that might have been his biggest mistake of the entire night.
As a black man, no matter if you feel like you're in the right, do not call the cops, especially if there's a white woman, passed out white woman in your house. If there's a passed out white woman in your house, you need to leave.
With injuries.
You need to leave. Wipe the doorknobs off. Take the security cameras. Rip them out the wall. Get rid of all evidence that you were there and leave. But that is actually a good point, is that, you know, he cheated, which caused a scuffle. He didn't leave her when he didn't want to be with her anymore, from what the interview said, when he says later in the interview. And then he scuffled with her over his phone. Now, here's the thing. If you're cheating, if you're really cheating, why? I mean, can you imagine that? He's riding in the car with her, beside her, and you have a text message come in. What happens? Does he look at the text message and she sees it? Like, I mean, is he that slow?
Is it slow, or is it because he feels he doesn't care because he's...
I don't think this is what I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I don't think it's that. I don't know. You think it's that. I don't think it's that though.
I also then talk about the audio that was recorded by Grace Jabari of Jonathan Majors speaking to her, telling her that she needed to be like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama, in which Jonathan Majors finally addressed what this was all about. Here's what he said.
It was me trying to give an analogy of what it is I'm aspiring to be. You know, these great men, Martin, President Obama, and trying to give a reference point to that.
Okay, can I also say that that's a little confusing to me? So to be a great man like, you know, President Obama, Martin Luther, I mean, you're an actor. You're acting in movies. Like,
Well, but I think they did great things, and they, you know, they represented their community well.
I mean, maybe that's
And
what
maybe
he's talking
gave
about.
back. And I think that all he was trying to say about Grace, did you say that's her name? Is if he's in a position like that, and that's what he's trying to do, then he needs her to be in a position kind of like the First Lady was, where she's dedicating her time to like his efforts and just be in more of a supporting role instead of, you know, like going out with your friends, going to the bar, getting drunk. Like, he needs her to kind of help him with what he needs so he can accomplish what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, I like your answer. It's very deep, but I'm very shallow in this. And the reason why I'm saying very shallow is that I feel like that you probably shouldn't be telling that to a white woman. It's just, and the only reason I say that because, and even she sounded like she was foreign. Like I said before, it's like, how does she know anything about that? It would be for me is
It doesn't
that
have to be about black, and doesn't have to be about the community.
why not?
It can be if you take the time to explain what you're trying to do or what you need, but all that I think that he needs is her to be kind of on the same page with him, as just to be supportive.
I'm with you on that, but
So
just
he
say
doesn't
that.
have to, so he could focus on what he's doing and not have to deal with, you know, the antics and just all the other crazy stuff.
I'm with you on that, and that's just a conversation like you just had right now. But to bring up these other examples, I think that's where the water gets a little murky and muddy. I mean, I'm just gonna be. I mean, look, I would want you to be more like Michelle for me, Obama.
I mean, I don't know her.
See, but if I say that, you know, I just want you to be more supportive and more caring and more understanding to help us, then that, you know, you see what I'm saying? I mean, you may not see what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like, say what you need and not give examples of people that I'm like, okay, like I don't have no idea what the hell you talking about. Yeah, I want you to be like Michelle. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
And so now, if you were a black woman coming up in the black community, you probably wouldn't know more what I said, what I mean when I say that. But what I'm saying is that I think he should have just explained what he was looking for versus giving examples, because the examples, even for me, are confusing.
Do you feel you're not responsible for her injuries at all?
I shouldn't have been in the car. I shouldn't have stepped out of the relationship. I shouldn't have been in the relationship. If I'm not in the car, none of this is happening. If I leave the relationship, none of this is happening.
If you didn't cheat, none of this would have happened.
That may, maybe, what? Maybe. I don't know. Could have happened. She could have been.
He's got the whole thing backwards. If I wasn't in the car, this wouldn't have happened. If I wasn't still in the relationship, this wouldn't have happened. No. If you weren't seeing another woman, this probably wouldn't have happened.
I mean, we don't know that. I mean, there's a greater chance that it probably wouldn't have happened. I mean, it sounded like the relationship.
It wouldn't have happened. If he wasn't seeing her, she wouldn't have texted him.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't, like I said,
defend.
I'm not defending, but I'm just saying it's like we don't know what the relationship. It sounds like the relationship. Like if he's knocking candles on the floor and being all this other, like, listen, as a guy, I would say that's not a good look. Like if you're losing your temper and you're even if you're not touching someone, but you're knocking stuff around and stuff like that, that's not a good look, because you look like you have the possibility of being violent. You do. You look like the possibility.
You play with fire, there's a chance you will get burned, and that's what he did.
Yeah,
He played. He got burned.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just,
And now he wants to cry.
Yeah, well,
But you did it to yourself.
he did do it to himself. Like, you listen, if you want to be with somebody else, you should have, like you said, just left the relationship.
Yes.
Not for long, like, you know what I'm saying. But I don't.
Yeah. Well, why didn't he just go over to that girl's house? Not go back home and not call the cops. Just go back. Go. That's where you want to be. Go there. And
She
come
probably
back
wasn't in the
morning.
city. From it probably was the girl Megan that he's with right now, which means
Oh.
she probably was in Atlanta or wherever
Maybe.
so she probably wasn't in New York at the time.
Oh, that girl got the short end of the stick.
Maybe not. I mean, you never know. I mean, but maybe she
Dating him when
really.
he's got all these movies going on, and then
Maybe she. I don't look. You
he
don't know.
decides to be with her when
Look,
he's got all the time in the world to spend with her now.
well, I mean, look, his next the next one that texts him when Megan's in the car with him. Let's just see what happens with that. Then look, once a cheater, that's the
Yeah.
thing. But anyway,
If I'm man enough or brave enough to say, I want to see somebody else, or I'm done now, I'm not in that car. We're not here. I'm responsible for those things.
But none of her injuries.
I can't say that. None of her injuries.
actually, you know what? You know what may be interesting is that because he came on the scene pretty quick, and so I'm just wondering is that if he didn't have because this white girl, I mean, have you seen her?
I've just seen her running and getting.
Yeah. She ain't but anyway, she ain't that cute. And so I almost feel like now, since he's been out in the spotlight, maybe he had a chance to step his game up with a more better looking, desirable woman.
Yeah.
And so could this not be the replacement theory? So maybe he wasn't able to get the black woman that he wanted, and so he settled for the white woman. But now when he had a little bit of fame and stuff, now he's like, ooh, this black woman, you know what I'm saying? Because maybe black woman wasn't checking for him because he is a little weird. He's weird.
But he also met Grace on the set in what they say 2021 or 2020. That was also during COVID. Maybe she was just a fun little apartment buddy,
Kind of
little
like
snuggle buddy.
Yeah, kind of like Bill met Monica Lewinsky at work.
Yeah, but I'm saying where you have to kind of quarantine and
But
maybe
that's
she was fun to just spend some time. But then now the world opened back up. She wants to go out and drink, go to bars, and maybe that's not convenient for him anymore.
I mean maybe.
After the altercation took place and Jonathan Majors ran away from her and they separated that night, he went back to his apartment and found her unconscious on the floor, and he's the one who called the police. And the interviewer asked if he felt that he did anything wrong that night and if he could relive it, if he would do anything differently, in which he said this.
See, there she looks cuter.
No, she don't. She don't, and he looks weird. He looks like he's a painter. He has
Yes,
a
does.
painter's hat on. That's what I'm saying. It's like he's different and he's weird. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong. It's what now?
A beret.
Okay, I don't even know what that is. But that sounds like what was that Prince song?
Yes.
What is it? What was
Raspberry beret.
it? Raspberry beret. What is a raspberry beret?
A red hat.
And you know what? Prince was weird. There's nothing wrong with being different.
There's nothing wrong with
There's
Prince
nothing.
either. I'm very defensive of Prince.
If you saw somebody walk around look like Prince and he wasn't Prince, and what would you think? That guy's a little different.
No, artistic.
The thing is, there's nothing wrong with being different. But what I'm saying is that different a lot of times is not attractive to, a certain type of woman. And so some black women aren't attractive to, black guys that are different. My feeling is that he was with the white girl, and then after his star power, black women started to be attractive to him, and he was like, okay, I have the chance to get I feel like that. I feel like that. And I could be wrong. Look at this. Look at that picture. How many, when we go out, because we go out to a lot of black places, how many black guys you see dressed like that with black women?
None.
Exactly. You know why? Because they're not a celebrity.
Oh yeah, look at Kanye. With him and his new girlfriend, the way they've been dressing.
He got a white girl though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, white women take you any way you dress. Just messing with you. Sorta. You took me any way I dressed, and I dress
Have you changed the way you dress since you've been with me?
Yeah. I don't know.
You want to answer that question again?
I don't know. What did I used to dress like?
You put thought into what you wear now, I feel like.
I always put thought into what I wore.
You did?
You didn't think I did? Well, see, there's what goes with that. Because you took me from when you thought I didn't put thought into what I wore. And you still took me from...
Of course. I told you I didn't care about any of that stuff.
Because I'm just so... Look, you saw the face and the rags to riches. You just saw the rags. Dr. Umar, the snow bunnies will take you however you look.
That's not true.
Whatever you wear, they will take you. Not however you look, whatever you wear. So even though that you look like you might not be able to get
That's
a woman
not true
by.
either. There are snow bunnies who don't care about what somebody has, and they don't care about color. When they like somebody, they just like somebody.
Yeah, but don't get you one of these snow bunnies because she will put you in jail. He put himself in jail.
Uh-huh.
He put himself in jail.
Through it all, Major's new girlfriend, actress Megan Good, has remained by his side, even present for our interview.
How would you describe your relationship?
She's an angel. She's held me down like a Coretta, you know? I'm so blessed to have her.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Found her?
I think it just seems it's delusional. Because here's the thing. Their relationship is going to go through some ups and downs also. I mean, it's not going to probably the amount of ups and downs as it will be, you know, once, you know, if he does get another chance to get back on the movie scene. Once you get back on the movie scene, if he does, and then he, you know, gets, you know, women throwing themselves at him again and stuff like that, it's like, does this
Yeah, because right now he's got
repeat
nothing
itself?
going on. He's got all the time to spend with her.
Yeah.
But his other girlfriend he met on the scene.
Yeah, and so it seems like he's looking for something in a female, and that can sometimes not be the best thing for, you know, you to be looking for some type of peace that you're trying to find within somebody else and not trying to find peace within yourself. And so if you're trying to find peace within the female, I don't know how well that's going to work out.
Plus, that's a lot. That's a big burden to put on somebody else.
Yeah. It's a big burden to put on the future Miss Coretta or whatever he's going
Especially
to.
somebody who seems kind of mentally unstable and reckless.
Who?
Him.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Megan because she ain't the
No.
most stable mentally person from what I've heard the last couple of years either.
Oh, really?
She left her husband.
Yeah, I did
From
see
my
that.
understanding, when she was married to a pastor. You couldn't be a Coretta to a pastor. Anyway, other than that, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't particularly like the interview, but I think and I believe a lot of people did like the interview, and so hopefully he does get another chance, you know. But hopefully he's learned a lot of things within this situation, and I think I'll be honest with you, I think he has a lot of maturing to do. I mean, I know he's only 34, but at the same time, I don't feel like he is
He is young.
most mature individual as far as taking accountability for his own actions and also thinking ahead about some of the things that he is doing. Like, if you're going to cheat, listen, if you're going to cheat, be a little smart about cheating. And if you're going to cheat, maybe you should not be with the person that you're with if you feel like you need to cheat, or have some type of, maybe they should have had an open relationship. But, you know, people have done worse and people have come back from worse, you know, as far as, you know, in life and in acting and in movies, you know. There's been a lot of people that have had train wrecks in their life and they've come back.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he's a good actor. And
He's a good actor because he's different.
I think that, but I think he's good.
I mean, he's good because he's different. Yeah, he's different. He's a different type of black guy.
Yeah.
Even the way he was sitting. You see how he was sitting? How many black guys sit with their legs crossed? Don't look at me. I do sit like that. But I'm different. That's what I'm saying. He's different. Like, you know how many times
That's why you tried to stick up from him from the get-go.
You know how many times I sit down in places and people look at me like, the hell you sitting like that? And I'm like, especially like when I'm with like my, you know, like my
when
guys.
we go out together and then I try to cross my legs at the same time he tries to cross his legs and now his legs hit my leg
Well,
because you're not supposed to be crossing your legs.
Well, you know, I've actually found it because I have small butt cheeks, so I like to cross my legs so I can shift from butt cheek to butt cheek.
No butt
Now,
cheeks.
I have small butt cheeks. I have very in shape. Anyway,
I think you're trying to say that my butt cheeks are not in shape.
no, that's not. That's not even what I said. I didn't infer that. I was talking about my butt cheeks. Now, if you want to talk about your butt cheeks, we can do that in another video because this video.
Because that's a lot to talk about.
This video is not long enough. This video has been too long.